Yo, what's going on everybody? King John here. Welcome back to the channel. I literally just finished my tournament run at Bumps Tournament City of Mayhem. It was an awesome run. I made it all the way to top 8, but I eventually got taken out by K7's Leo, which is a great Leo by the way, and I got 5th. But during the beginning rounds, I obviously had to play against lower level players because that's how seeding works. And I found that a lot of them have similar trends and similar tendencies that are actually very easily fixable. So that inspired me to make this video because I want to see you guys improve at the game and I want to see the game grow. Before we get the video started though, guys, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. We're on that 500 subscriber grind, so it would really mean a lot to me if you were to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to catch me live and hang out, maybe ask me some questions, I'm always there to answer questions. Come through to my Twitch at twitch.tv/KingJohn_TTV. But other than that, guys, let's get started. All right, so tip number 1 is going to be how to manage meter and meter management. Everything in this game takes 50% meter. You know, regular RC, supers, YRCs, everything takes at least 50% meter. Meter is some characters' entire game plans. It's how characters, you know, get that combo ability, get that extra damage. It's very important to know how to manage meter. But meter can also be, you know, used defensively, so it's also handy to have there. So how do you manage meter, first of all? Well, it's not such a black and white answer. There's so many ways to use meter in this game. It's all about optimizing the way you use meter, and that depends a lot on your situation. For example, if you're playing a character like Soul here, the way you should use your meter is by optimizing your damage when you get hits and to keep pressure going. A character like Soul can do tons of damage if you optimize them properly, but if you don't have meter, if you're spending meter on other things like PRCs randomly, or you know, not managing properly, you're gonna lose out on a lot of damage. For example, regular Soul combo would be something like this. You know, it didn't do that much damage. It looks like a lot more damage because it's melee has less health. So if you have meter, you can RC cancel to really optimize your damage. And with a character like Soul, this is huge because his damage output is insanely high and he needs the meter to do so. So a fully optimized Soul combo with meter will look something like this. As you can see, that's a lot more damage. So it's very important to manage your meter properly. You know, you can use meter in different ways. Just don't use it willy-nilly, you know. See the matchup, see the situation that you really need to use your meter. For example, if you're in a situation like this, where let's say it's last game of the set, last hit, you're both at like 1 inch of health, and you really need to get out of a pinch, then doing something like this is a great way to use meter. It gets them off you, it gets neutral back. It's just an overall very optimal way to use meter. However, in a situation where maybe the round just started and you get put into the corner and you have meter and you really don't want to deal with the situation, then you should probably consider using your meter. Using it in situations like these aren't the best. There's not really a threat of a mix-up. There's not really any threat. It's the beginning of the round. You should consider saving your meter for more optimization later on. Don't use your meter willy-nilly, you know. Don't do random PRCs or blue RCs. It's not worth it at all. There are certain characters that use RC differently, but it's all about optimizing your meter management according to what character you use. Like a character like Soul will want to keep their meter to really cash out on big damage. A character like Nago would want to keep their meter to get good blue RC mix-ups, etc, etc. But overall, you want to manage your meter so you can get those big hits and optimize your combos to get max damage and really make them feel it. But the next tip is understanding wall break. Now, nobody really understands how wall break exactly works. However, there is a tell on the wall that tells you when it's about to break, so it gives you tons of information to arrange your combo for it. Every time you hit somebody against the wall, it's going to have a sort of impact on the wall, but eventually you're gonna get that. When the wall looks cracked, almost like cracked glass, that's your cue to tell you that on the next hit, you will get a wall splat. In a corner combo situation, you would want to keep looking at the wall to look out for that cracked glass effect, because then you'll get a wall splat. I see a lot of people committing to combos and unoptimizing them simply because they don't know when the wall's gonna break, so they'll do things like that. If you're in a situation where you get a corner hit and you get a corner combo opportunity, keep looking out for that cracked glass effect. It's gonna be huge for optimizing damage in combos. It's also going to give you opportunities to super and things like that. I've seen too many times people committing to combos because they don't know when the wall's exactly going to break. They'll do things like this. But honestly, the wall break system is still kind of a mystery. Sometimes you can get the wall splat immediately, sometimes you don't. But if you're in a situation where you get that corner combo, look at the wall and look for that cracked glass effect. That tells you that the next hit is gonna wall splat, so make sure to adjust your combos accordingly. Alright, the next tip is gonna be PRC OS. Now, some people may hear the word OS and kinda get intimidated. It's an option select. Trust me, it's really like the easiest option select you could possibly do, and it's one of the most important as well. So to perform a PRC OS, all you simply have to do is just throw them and press RC. Whatever button you have your RC macro set to, just press it at the same time you press throw. And what this is gonna do is that it's gonna do one of two things. Either you're gonna get the throw and nothing's gonna happen, or you're gonna be put in a situation where you whiff a throw and the PRC comes out and catches the person's backdash, and you get a big punish. It's honestly one of the easiest OSs you can do. You do require 50% meter to do it, but honestly, it's such an important OS. It's so important to the game. It's so important to use at a high level because backdashing is a big part of the meta, and people backdash a lot. So to counter that, you can simply PRC OS and catch the backdash. And there's really zero risk to this because if you get the throw, nothing's ever going to happen. Like I'm mashing RC, nothing happens. The whole throw animation goes through. So if you're running a good strike throw game and they start jumping and backdashing your throws, this is a great way to keep pressure going. It covers so many options, you have no idea. All right, next tip is going to be a quick one, and that's to please use your super during wall break. Now going back to the wall, one of the most important things you can possibly do with a wall break is finish it off with a super, something that a lot of players I seeing at the low level don't do, and it's something huge that they need to fix. Finishing a wall break with a super is a huge aspect simply because it gives you hard knockdown to keep pressure going during the stage transition. So it basically keeps being your turn. So a quick example would be to break the wall super, and since you get a hard knockdown, it's still your turn to keep your pressure going no matter what. You can do whatever. This is especially important against zoners and keep away characters like Axel and Zato. You want to keep your turn against those characters, especially Axel. Characters like Axel actually benefit from you wall breaking without a super because they get to play their game again. So please finish your wall breaks with supers is extremely important in this game. And the last tip I got for you guys is to please watch your replays after you lose. I know that's hard. I know it's hard. I can speak from experience back when I was a beginner. You don't want to see yourself lose, but it's a requirement to improve in this game, or to improve in any fighting game really. Watching your replays and seeing what you did wrong are such a valuable thing that you can possibly do that tons of people aren't doing because they're salty, or they just have a bad mentality where they're like, oh, I shouldn't have lost to this person isn't good, yada yada yada, this person got carried, this person's a scrub, I shouldn't have lost to them, and the salt takes over and they don't go back and check their replays. Checking your replays to see what you did wrong in the matchup or in the match is so important to improving and growing. Seeing things like what you could have done better, seeing things like I messed up on this, or I let them get away with this. You can get so much information from simply watching a replay, such as a matchup thing you may have not seen before, such as seeing something you didn't see at the heat of the moment, or simply seeing where you messed up and how you can fix it. Then you can go back here to training mode and you know, now you can go back here to training mode and lab out that situation for next time so you can be ready and beat up that person that beat you up last time. Simply going back and looking at what you did wrong puts you miles ahead of everybody else who's trying to improve with this game. That is the first step to actually having good growth and good development in fighting games. I also have one last tip that I just thought about right now, so I don't want to leave it out, and that's managing your burst better. For me, 99% of players are gonna burst as soon as they get some type of counter hit for RS, something like this. It becomes very predictable. It becomes really easy to bait. I've been at fault with this before. Sometimes I just get tilted and burst. But in order to win, you need to really play that burst mind game, you know, burst at different times, burst on blocks sometimes, you know, just don't press burst as soon as you get hit. Tons of people will immediately bait this and you're gonna get hit even harder. You're just gonna lose the game simply because you did a salty burst or a bad burst. But at the end of the day, it's all about reading your opponent, seeing how they react to your burst. For example, does the soul player back off immediately after a far S? Because if you see things like that, then as soon as you get hit with another far S, you can hold your burst, and now you just get freed up from tons of damage. You just dodged the bullet and got to cap your burst for a different situation. It is so important to do this. Trust me, it will win you matches to manage your burst properly. Also, bursting far away is the thing that a lot of players do. So in a situation where you're too high or too far away, the burst will completely miss and you're still going to get punished anyways. But sometimes situations like this will happen where you're too far or you're too high for the burst to reach you. So you're basically just going to get punished for even more. I've seen this happen too many times, and it's honestly something so tragic because you lose your burst and you take tons of damage. It honestly will lose you matches to manage your burst improperly. But that's pretty much it, everybody. Let me know if any of these tips helped you out. Let me know of any other tips you guys may have, because I'm obviously still learning. Just because you're a more experienced player and are competing in tournaments doesn't mean you're immune to learning. So let me know what type of tips you guys could have, and let me know if these helped you out. But anyways, guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.